I am someone that has experienced severe bloating, and it wasn't fun. Back in 2012, I'd just been through a very messy breakup. I'd moved home from Scotland to Australia. I was living off fast food. I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't sleeping. And I was very, very stressed, and needless to say, my digestion was a mess. I didn't poop ever. I even went to the doctor and I was like, "Doctor, I don't poop." And he was like, "Oh, here's some laxatives." He gave me the strongest laxatives that can be prescribed. Even they didn't make me poop. So to say that my belly was bloated would be the understatement of the year. My clothes literally didn't even fit me anymore because my belly was that bloated. I actually ended up in the emergency room of my hospital at one point and I was like, "Please help me." So I've been there, okay? I know what bloating is. I've experienced it and it is not fun. This video is very fittingly sponsored by Amra. There are a few things that I consistently do to keep working on my digestive health, one of which is taking colostrum, and Amra is hands down my favorite. Colostrum, also known as liquid gold, is a nutrient-dense liquid produced by all mammals in the first 48 to 72 hours after giving birth. It contains over 200 nutrients in their bioavailable form, which means that unlike certain synthetic vitamins and mineral supplements, when nutrients are in their bioavailable form, it means that your body can actually utilize and assimilate those nutrients a lot easier. Now, I have been diagnosed as having leaky gut, which is why I personally take colostrum. Colostrum helps to seal up the tight junctions in your gut lining. Now, something important to note is that not all colostrum is made equally. Amra colostrum is the only one that I would personally use. It is sourced from grass-fed cows. We want to make sure that you are sourcing your colostrum from a high-quality source. I am studying nutrition, but I am not certified yet. So please do your own research, speak with your own healthcare provider, but if you feel like colostrum could benefit you and you would like to incorporate some high-quality colostrum into your diet like I do, Amra have kindly offered you guys, my followers, 15% off your first purchase. I will put the link to Amra's website in the description box down below. So in this video, we're obviously talking about bloating, and I know that bloating is something that is becoming very normalized, which some people would say is a great thing. I would beg to differ. If you're on social media and you follow any influencer, you've probably seen the inevitable bloating picture. Sometimes it feels very performative. It's like they're trying to even out the overly posed, overly edited, tiny wasted pictures by putting up a bloating picture here and there. But a lot of the time, this ain't even bloat at all. This is simply the influencer poking out their belly. We can all do that. Here's me sucking in for dear life, here's me relaxed, and here is me poking out my belly. I could take a picture of the before and after and say, "Oh, this is me on a good day and this is me bloated," but that's not me bloated. I'm just pushing my stomach out. Posting pictures of your bloated stomach is becoming a bit of a trend on social media. It's a way to appear relatable to your followers. "I'm just like you. Look, I get bloated." I know they mean well, but pictures like this make it seem like having a visibly distended belly to this extent is actually normal and to be expected when it's actually anything but. And that's the thing. When you're normalizing bloating to this extent, it can actually have damaging knock-on effects. It can make people who are genuinely suffering with life-altering bloat think that it's normal and that they don't actually need to do anything about it, when in fact they would benefit from seeing their doctor and getting it sorted. Whereas bloating is extremely common, that does not mean that it's normal. Occasional bloating isn't usually anything serious, and whilst it can be uncomfortable and annoying, it's not anything to be embarrassed or ashamed of. Regular bloating, bloating after most meals, bloating that doesn't go away, or bloating that is accompanied by extreme pain, that is not normal. If your bloat is so severe that your belly is visibly distended to this extent, can also be a sign that your gut isn't happy. A lot of conditions can cause bloating, from IBS to food intolerances, endometriosis, lactose intolerance, gas, constipation, infection, celiac disease, and indigestion. Not to mention that bloating can actually be a symptom of a more serious issue and one that needs to be checked out by your doctor. That's why, although bloating is common, it's not necessarily normal, and why attempts to normalize it on social media, far from being a positive thing, can actually be detrimental to our health. Making it seem that bloating so much that you look pregnant is normal and to be expected can stop people from seeking the medical help that they need to find the root cause of their bloating and heal from it. Now, the influencers that are posting this kind of content, in my opinion, are not trying to cause harm to people. On the contrast, they're trying to promote body positivity, and I really love that. But I think the reason we're trying to normalize bloating in the first place is actually a direct retaliation to the unrealistic beauty standards of our generation, which dictate that we must have a flat stomach and tiny waist to be attractive or to feel confident about ourselves. I feel like us normalizing bloating is a misguided attempt to fight back against these beauty standards, which I do really appreciate, but I think we're going about it in the wrong way. Unfortunately, for some influencers, not these influencers in particular, these are just examples that I found on Google, but for some influencers in general, posting about bloating is a way to seem seem relevant to their followers and to garner engagement on their posts, because after all, engagement on social media equals more followers and more money. And let's be honest, we've all experienced bloating and we all like to see bellies that aren't always tiny and flat on social media. Having belly fat is normal and beautiful. Having a bigger belly throughout different times of the day due to eating and drinking is also normal and beautiful. Having a bigger belly at different times of the month due to hormonal fluctuations can also be normal. However, excessive bloating, regular bloating, bloating after most meals is not to be normalized and should not be celebrated because it can cause us to miss a bigger issue that could be at play. For example, fitness influencer Emily Sky Fit posted these pictures of her bloating to her 2.7 million followers. However, she also made it clear that her bloating was actually due to parasites and SIBO, aka small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and she is healing from that. I love that Emily is so authentic on her socials, and yes, she is in a way normalizing having bloating. However, she is also acknowledging the fact that excessive bloating is not normal and needs to be investigated. A lot of online influencers, to me, also seem to be confusing bloat with what a normal, regular stomach looks like at the end of the day. This TikTok video from another beautiful influencer, and I know she's trying to do a good thing and empower women to feel good about themselves, but she has hashtagged it as #bloat. And then there's subsequent articles that have been written about this video praising her for normalizing bloating, like it's a good thing. But again, this is not necessarily bloat. If your belly is bigger in the evening after you've been consuming food and liquids all day than it is in the morning after you've been fasting all night, that is not necessarily bloat. You don't necessarily have a problem. This is just how a normal human body works. Bloat is different, and I speak from experience here. Pictures like this, where I know, again, the influencer means well, they're trying to be body positive, but it can actually be pretty problematic. If you can suck your stomach in so that it's this tiny and flat, and then push your belly out so that it looks bloated, you're not really bloated at all. And it's not really a fair representation of what a real bloated stomach looks or feels like. Now, true bloating, that's a whole other kettle of fish. If any of you guys have experienced true bloating, you will know what I'm talking about. Bloating is uncomfortable, bloating can be painful, bloating isn't posing in your cute knickers in front of the mirror taking a #relatable bloating picture for Instagram. Bloating is very, very common, but that does not mean that it's normal, and it doesn't mean that you have to continuously suffer from bloating. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love your guts. Don't forget to check out Armour in the description box down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.